Welcome, questlings, to the land of Mortera, and the story of a group of adventurers who journey through this world of unstable magic, undiscovered secrets, and unending adventure. Follow us on our grand quests for peace, love, battle, riches, and prestige.
The camera starts off focused on a blinding white light. As it slowly zooms out, we see the full moon come into focus, but it has a very, very light green hue to it. The camera creeps slowly away from the moon as the full night sky fills itself out before our eyes, also lightly limned in the same eerie green glow. The camera then shifts downwards towards the clouds and begins its descent through them, as a huge continent stretches out in front of us. Reminiscent of Pangea, the area is one giant landmass, but specifics are hard to make out in the dark. The camera increases the speed at which it zooms downwards towards the continent, past mountains and forests, over rivers, under fallen logs, and into a small town. The clinking sound of metal on metal pulls the camera towards a small wooden house. Pushing through the window itself, the camera falls on a blacksmith who is hammering away at a white-hot sword. He's in the middle of a conversation with his wife.
Darling, please. It's so late. Come to bed.
Nora, I love you, but the shipment is due at the end of the week and I haven't much time to spare.
I know, love, but all this clanging will bother the baby.
You see her pat her very obviously pregnant stomach. You are such a bad influence. Please, Nora, I need to finish.
Oh, fine, Lord.
Don't worry, Nora. We always have tomorrow. I'll take you on the best date of your life with the money from the shipment. You'll see.
At least we have tomorrow, Mother.
We do. And we'll always have tomorrow.
The camera then pans slowly away from the small hovel as the sound of hooves rapidly approaching takes our attention away from the clanging of the blacksmith. It moves out, approaching the window, and latches onto a dark figure on a horse as it passes by. The camera bounces and shakes as if it is on the horse as well, and we follow the rider up through a mountain pass, where they finally stop at the top of the mountain in front of a tall tower. The rider, covered in a heavy purple cloak, clumsily gets off the horse, grabs a thick book, and runs toward the door of the tower, slipping on the way up. The camera follows him up a winding staircase to the top of the floor, where a much older individual is haphazardly grabbing books and quickly tossing them onto a large pile in the center of the room. Xanthus, the time is upon us. The circle is in place, and she's ready for us. We must hurry.
I'm just about done, Bilior. These are the last of the documents to be sent to the Ark. Our sacrifice will not be made in vain.
Can you be so sure that the devastation won't be so far-reaching as to penetrate the very ground upon which we walk?
All we can do at this point is our job. Here, Bilior. I know not what will come of our history beyond that. The camera pans into a bird's-eye view of the room that the two men are sitting in, and the pile of the books in the middle. They draw a chalk circle around the books and begin chanting. The camera shifts to a close-up shot of the different books and pans across them slowly. Various books of all shapes and sizes are seen. One is labeled Flora and Fauna, another is labeled Folk Heroes, and the last one that the camera sits upon is labeled A Complete History of... However, the rest of it is covered up by the books in the pile as the chalk circle begins to glow with a deep blue light and the men continue chanting. But the eerie green glow coming from outside grows stronger as well, and the camera focuses on that book, A Complete History, as half of it is draped in blue and the other half in the green, and then in an instant they disappear. We've done all we can do to preserve our history. Now, shall we watch?
There isn't much else we can do, I suppose. The camera follows the two men up the stairs to the top of the tower as the ubiquitous green light shimmers aggressively in the night. It settles behind the two men, looking out directly in between them toward an unforgettable sight. A huge mountain range that, when one's head is tilted just right, resembles a sleeping giant lying on their back. Suddenly, the ground begins to rumble and crack as viscous green fluid erupts from the valley below, and noxious gas sprays across a nearby forest and causes the trees to curl over themselves. The leaves fall off. The camera zooms out and up as the entire continent begins to rip apart and bursts as these acidic green fluids cover it completely. As the camera moves back up in the clouds, in the distance we hear the two men one last time. At least we had today, my friend.
We did. But we'll never have tomorrow. As the music swells and the camera finishes its ascent, turning back towards the now acidic green moon and stars, large bursts of acid and gas shoot up from the bottom of the screen and start to cover previously invisible letters. The acid becomes thick and mucousy as it sticks to the letters and runs down them, making them visible. In front of the moon it reads, Mortera. One final burst of green gas covers the screen, which goes black, and white text slowly fades onto the black screen and reads, sometime in the future. Max! Max of Mitten. And we see a courtroom, and a rather stately man sitting at the head of a courtroom, and the kind of the shadows of many different tall, short men, women, individual figures kind of leaned up against a wall. And you are in chains, and you are brought forward in front of the judge here. And my question now is, once you step into the light, everybody else can see you. What does your character look like?
Average in pretty much every way.
I love it.
Average height, average width, average weight, average face. Very, very average.
What's the hair color? I always like that helps me.
Brownish,
Yeah.
just an average kind of brown.
Okay, and then your character has been either wrongfully or rightfully accused of something, and is now about to have this conversation with the judge. So what is something that Max would have got caught up in by accident, or done something you didn't know was wrong, or?
I can't imagine doing anything intentionally wrong.
Yeah, I figured.
But that doesn't mean that somebody wouldn't have found something wrong with the thing.
Maybe he accidentally punched a chicken or
I
something.
don't know. Somebody said a bad word in front of someone, and he punched
Oh
them
yeah,
for it.
yeah. So maybe you upset a noble.
Yeah,
Something
that'll
of that
do.
nature. Yeah,
He was
yeah.
a noble was rude to an orphan, and Max stepped in.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
There
yeah.
we go.
So Max stepped in front and was like,
Hey, watch your mouth.
and the noble was like, took off their glove. And so yes, Max of Mitten,
Yes.
you stand here accused of speaking out of turn of your class. How do you plea?
Is that a thing?
Yes,
Then what? I don't understand what that means.
you spoke to a noble with the incorrect words and without compassion.
Is he not a person?
He is a person that is above where you stand in your class. As a mere peasant,
No, he's shorter than me.
don't play games with me, Mitten.
I'm not playing games. I just don't understand.
I want a plea out of you.
Plea?
Guilty or not?
Not.
You plea not guilty. But for speaking back to this court and being unaware of the laws here at Saltport, you're condemned to 1 day of community service. And then you are just kind of dragged over to the other side of the court.
Okay.
And then next, and your character's full name for me. It's gonna take me a couple days to go.
It's alright. Vestrin Galakir.
Okay. Vestrin Galakir. You are pulled up in front of them. So what does your character look like as they step into the light of...
Generic, tall, live tabaxi with the little minx ears, the what do they call the tall, the fucking pointy ears.
Pointy
the cool,
ears? Yeah, Lynx.
Lynx, that's the name. Face constantly fastened in kind of like a shit-eating smirk, just like I'm so much better than this all the time. And long bushy tail.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So again, you stand here accused of. So what, some of your character would have gotten in trouble with, or having been in Saltport for a little bit.
Definitely stealing.
Stealing. Yeah. You stand here accused of petty thievery outside the tavern. How do you plead?
If I say not guilty, would you believe me?
Seeing as you were seen by a city guard,
Well, that would do it, yeah.
I would be inclined to not believe you at all. No. It's more of a formality at this point.
Well, not guilty then. Who cares?
Fine. You want to play that game with me, Cat? 1 day of community service. Over there with the very normal-looking human.
Hi.
So you dragged over there. You stand next to each other. So slide past over here. Your character's full name for me.
Althea Xylotion.
All right.
Altheaxiloscient.
It's the name.
Althea.
It's her name in the chat on
Oh, it's on the
the
chat.
Facey book.
Got it. Althea Xylotion. So now you step into the light, and we see what your character looks like for the first time.
There.
A very androgynous female wood elf, taller than average. In fact, taller than most wood elf males.
Nice.
A burnside on the right side of my head where hair cannot grow. My hair is about shoulder length, growing from the top to the left side. A dark brown with streaks of blonde. I have tattered robes, and I look quite dirty and bloody.
Okay, perfect. So you're dirty and bloody. What did your character do to end up here?
Well, she escaped her home forest after defeating a bunch of orcs and then flying on her dragon to Mortera, where she's never been before, and she is totally confused, and why the hell am I in this court?
Yes. You've been accused of disturbing the peace.
Seems about right.
You cannot fly giant creatures around, unwarranted and uncertified, by the High Council of Elders and the 5 Magi. How do you plead?
Wait, she has a giant creature?
What? Can I pet it?
Dragon? You have a dragon?
I want a dragon.
That's so awesome.
I think the bailiff elbows you in the rose.
Sorry.
Can I pet it?
She has a dragon.
Again I ask, Althea, how do you plead?
I'm tired, and I'm hungry. I just want to get out of here. I plead insanity.
Well, luckily for you, it's going to wind you up in the same place as everybody else. You can be as insane as you want here as long as you follow our rules and our regulations. 1 day of volunteer service with the Diplomacy Corps.
Welcome.
All right, we swing over. Next. And you can see him looking at it. What? Waka. And folds it back up and he says, to me. And we see, what do we see? Being pushed into the light.
2 bailiffs are holding me up above, my feet are dangling. You see a orange, a yellow-orange kobold lizard man thing in a nice little suit with workman's gloves, just dangling. And he goes, what am I doing here? I didn't do anything. Get me out.
And they lock you to the thing where you have to. The rest of them have had their hands down against it, right? And they're yours are up, and you have to look over your scaly hands. He says, "You waka." And what would you say you're in deep for here?
Let's see, unlicensed magic items.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I swear I was gonna get the papers. I was walking down to the office to get them all looked through. Don't worry about it.
Because you were using magic items uncertified by the Council of the 5 Magi. You've been basically found guilty here. Again, more of a formality, and everybody else has been a real nuisance about this. So how do you plead?
You know what? I'm gonna make it easy on you. I'm just gonna plead guilty.
Oh, thank goodness you're free to go.
Yeah.
Just kidding. 1 day of community service with the Diplomacy Corps. And finally, a halfling is pulled out in front of everybody. And again, he's reading it. They just get increasingly more. He's Funkin' Mr. Go-Nuts. and as the halfling is pulled in front of everybody, what do we see?
Hello, everyone. It's a shorter than normal halfling with bright green hair. I can't even read what I wrote.
Green hair.
Brown eyes. There's bandages wrapped around both his hands and his feet. He's got a chubby face and a backpack.
Aww.
Yeah, I like the chubby face. He goes, you've been brought here before the court Dad, what did you get in trouble for here?
This is only my second day here in this city, and there's this man dying in the street, and so I as peasant, and I decided to fix him. He's no longer dying. He's of perfect health.
You've been brought here before the court for the unwarranted use of magic in public. How do you plead?
Well, guilty, but I was just doing my job.
Yes, I understand that, and we hate to do this to you, but I hope you understand that in the future you need to go to our municipal district, check yourself in as a magic wielder here in the town. There you will be able to use magic freely as long as it is allowed here.
Oh, all right.
Yes, but since you're already in the court system, you've been certified automatically. You will still be doing 1 day of community service with the Diplomacy Corps.
Oh my God, I've never been in trouble before. What will my parents think?
Dragged off. And at that point...
It's serving the community. I'd do that for free.
So do I, but not really.
Everyone
You
takes
make me
care of
uncomfortable.
themselves.
Cramped in this tiny room.
All right. You all are kind of pulled through the streets of Shellport here and up to the dock district. And upon arriving at the dock district, you see two individuals wearing, the regalia, the nice full kind of, not full plate, but like chainmail of the Diplomacy Corps. And the two individuals, one is a male, one is a female. One is standing pretty stout, about 6'1", really tall guy, kind of Prince Charming looking, got the blue eyes, got long blowing blonde hair, long flowing blonde hair.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Blowing blonde hair.
I like blowing blonde.
Yeah, he's got blowing blonde hair. And he's holding like his helmet under one arm, and he's got his like hand at his hilt on the other, and the wind is kind of blowing through his hair. And what does Colette look like?
Oh, Colette is a very thin, tall woman, very sturdy looking, and she just has not a resting bitch face, but a resting serious face. She knows this woman means business.
So you're pulled up, and you're kind of like unhooked. You have all your weapons, all your equipment on, and everything. You've been unhooked from your manacles and everything of that nature. And the man walks up and introduces himself. You see on the front of him is the symbol of the Diplomacy Corps, which is a fist holding an olive branch. It's painted with like a nice navy blue. And you hear like the wind blowing, and there's dock workers all around, and there's like a tiny ship behind him. And he goes, Welcome, community service friends, family, and neighbors.
Hi.
How's everybody doing? Let me introduce myself. My name is Aston. I'm going to be here helping you through your first day community service with the Diplomacy Corps. This is my partner here. Her name is Colette.
Hi, Colette.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Pleasure.
You all are going to be boarding with us today. We have a special mission for the Diplomacy Corps. Some things we know about the world here, right? The hotspot in the Mitten Bay is like heavily focused on necrotic magic. There are kind of two belief systems because the dead come back to life. People burn them in funeral pyres. Or there is an island in the Serpent's Cluster here. This island, kind of like unceremoniously known as Zombie Island or Dead Island. This is where people who believe that the body is connected to the soul, and if the body is destroyed, your soul doesn't live on. They don't want to burn their dead, right? Their dead is sent on a ship to that island and dropped off to just wander around and shamble as a zombie. And the Diplomacy Corps every once in a while like takes trips to go drop those bodies off. So that's what basically Ashton explains that to you. Today we're going to be taking a load of zombies, but on top of that, we've heard that there have been some nefarious dealings on the island. Somebody spotted a member of the Guild of Calamitous Intent rowing a boat onto it. So you're all, I hate to say it, kind of, easy to kill, or maybe, what's the word, Colette, where they can die and we don't care about them?
Thanks.
Expendable.
They're thanks.
Oh, thank you. What's your name?
Max.
Max. Thanks, Max. You're all expendable. For better or worse, you're going to be going up onto one of the deserted houses with us on the island and just checking what's going on. I'll leave him to you. And he kind of like steps onto the boat.
All right, everyone, fall in line, follow me.
This is going to be fun.
No, it's
Can't
not.
wait to get
Kind of
out.
military marches you guys on into.
Hey, are we at least gonna get our items back that were confiscated?
Oh yeah, you got it. Oh, I guess all your items have been like checked and deemed safe.
Yeah.
Excuse me, if I survive this, what's your name, my dear?
My name was Colette.
Would you like to go for drinks sometime?
Perhaps.
That's better than I expected. All right.
Ashton kind of pokes his head out and he goes, "Everything is good. Let's
Okay.
go." And yeah, you all get on the boat, and on the boat is just kind of like an old ship captain, and he kind of like clinks up to you. Let's get our very first kind of perception check as we all step onto the boat. Ooh. So I can roll some perception checks. Yeah, 17, 23.
Adjusted
Okay.
with my 2-point bonus.
I'm still busy for my flight. I haven't slept in 2 days and eaten in 3.
To
Haven't eaten at all.
those of you who rolled like a 10 or higher, right? So like half the party here, you instantly notice an individual kind of like leaning against the back of the boat, and as you all kind of like step on. So some of you notice like a silhouetted person leaning against the back of the boat, but the captain walks up and you hear a. Walks up and he introduced himself. He says, "Hi, hello. My name is Steelfoot Willie. Welcome to me boat. I take people back and forth from the zombie island on the Serpent's Tusk. This is me son here.
Steelport
And
Willie?
Hello, Captain Willie.
Steelfoot Willie, yeah.
Steelfoot Willie.
This is me son here, Billy Jr.
So,
Hi.
We're gonna be your crew today.
Do you do anything else but tours other than to this island?
Oh, well, we do charters around Mitten Bay, but rumor has it that there's creatures in it, and a little dangerous. What are you all doing here today? Looks
Community
like...
service.
Oh, bunch of rascals here, huh?
yeah.
No,
I mean,
we're serving the community.
Colette, I'm gonna leave them on you. You're gonna watch them closely.
I don't like this being called a criminal thing.
The person's leaning on the. Is still leaning.
Yeah, it's kind of leading silhouetted.
Hey, are you gonna introduce yourself to the rest of the crew?
Well, and at this point, everybody kind of looks over, and we see Hannah's character leaning against the boat there. And what is your character look?
What's up? My name's Timus. Call me T. In fact, don't ever call me Timus. So Timus looks like a normal, average human, but brown hair, brown eyes, pretty strong build. She's a little tall for a woman, but she looks mannish. And she likes it that way.
There's a mini for you.
Hello, Timus.
T! It's T.
tea.
I could go for some tea right now.
T, you remind me of somebody, and then I look at Max,
Huh?
and then I look back at T.
What? Hi.
You know,
That's weird.
at the end of all this, would you like to go out for drinks?
No, not really.
Share the wealth.
You know, after this is finished, we could all funkin' go nuts.
How about you shut the fuck up?
All right, guys. The campaign's over.
We have to leave now. Yeah, so the
Gonna rip everything up now.
at this point, what I'm basically going to let y'all do is just like get to know each other a little bit. You role play, mess around. Basically, Billy Jr. and Steelfoot Willie just go around and like untie everything and kind of get going. If you want to ask the two Diplomacy Corps volunteers any questions, or ask the captain any questions, or just get to know each other, we'll leave it open to that for a little bit now.
All right.
Let's see.
It's my first time on a boat.
Really?
I live near the beach, but I've never been on a boat myself. Except for now.
But you flew a dragon?
I did. Well, he flew me, actually.
How does that
I'm
work?
sorry, you're going to have to draw that in a diagram of some kind, please.
What I meant is I was asleep on his back.
And you
But
just
he
ended
was
up here by
flying.
accident.
That's what dragons do, yes.
You didn't fall off?
While all this is going down, I'm just gonna sit down and start like unpacking, like looking through my junk and make sure everything's still there.
I'm sitting on a crate, unpacking my backpack which has bologna sandwiches in it.
From like my leather vest that I'm wearing, I produce a very, very small flat. Like it's like this a very small flat. I'm just
I'm sick of everyone, so I just go to the wall of the ship and lay down. Fall asleep.
Would anyone like a bologna sandwich?
Oh, yeah, I could eat.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
sounds delightful.
fuck it. Why not?
Althea, you want
jerky?
a bologna?
I'll
Anybody?
take some
You want a sandwich?
Oh,
You ever had one of those?
I'm trying to sleep.
The tea, bologna.
Yeah, sure.
I pull out a thermos of tea.
That's it.
You weren't kidding, huh?
Yeah, Captain Willie, Steelfoot Willie is like leaning on a rope, and he looks over and he's like, "Brought tea onto this vessel, did ya?"
Yeah.
And he like comes over to you, and he goes to like grab you by the shirt. Do you try to actively dodge it, or are you allowed to have it?
I allow it to happen.
Okay, yeah, he grabs you and goes, "Do you realize what you might have done to us?
Caffeine?
This is a dangerous water. With all the death going on, fish rise from Mitten Bay because of the hot spots. There's not that many things to eat around here, boy. That smell might linger, and you might bring something onto this ship. Could put us all in danger."
Well, if you don't like black tea, I got chamomile, I got Earl Grey, I got orange blossom.
But I'm going to take a moment to ask, how many of you brought things to eat on this boat?
I just took my last sip of whiskey, so
Just standard trail rations.
I left it all back over there.
You may have some rations.
All of you, just keep your eyes open.
Hey,
So
slow
ba-
down, Steamboat Willie.
based
It's
on
Steelfoot, Willie.
Yeah, whatever.
So how much was your foot?
Foot?
Yes, how much was it?
The cost of a steel foot?
Yes, how much did you pay to get that
I
steel
hardly
foot?
think that's an appropriate question.
I'm only asking because I'm interested in
Have you ever thought about upgrading your foot?
With what?
I'll just take your measurements, save it for later. If I ever meet you again, I'll give you a good
I
price.
don't trust either of you. Well, like I told you, going back and forth across the waters here, creatures attack. Hungry humanoid creatures that live in the deeps, and others that just jump on and flop around and bite. It was one day with me and my son here. Not very helpful, boy.
Whatever.
But I had me feet dangling all over the water. And in one foul swoop, a big reef shark came and bit it off. I'll never dangle my feet again.
That's fucking
So I draw
terrible.
my sword and hold it in hand,
Yeah.
because now I'm scared.
Yeah. That's a smart one there, Max.
I'm now clinging
Just
to
get
the
the
side
shield
of the
out,
crate.
too. How about
No.
that?
Can we go back? Please, can I go back?
I'm just standing there staring at the water.
And Aston is kind of leaning against it, and he goes, "Hey, no one, even members of the diplomacy corps that are here with community service, are afraid, or big babies, all right?" And he kind of tousles your green hair.
Man up, man.
Does anybody else want to kind of punch that dick in the face just a little bit?
He definitely lightens up the mood.
I recommend we're nice
Yes,
to our
like-
captain.
He hears you. Or wait, are you talking about Aston or the
Aston.
steamboat? Yeah, he hears you, and he gives you an eye. He goes, "You got a problem there, cat?
I have no problem, and stop calling it cat.
You look like a cat, but I'll take it easy on it.
Thank you.
My lord."
You remind me of my kitty back at home.
How pleasurable.
His name was Mittens.
Was
Alright, guys.
Mrs.
I'm
the
Min.
table.
Max of Min. That's my name.
It's
Is
a
it-
good
is it
thing
Min?
you are
Who's-
cute. That's fine.
We're gonna clear the table so we can drop the map here. The map.
The map.
Yeah.
The map. The map. The map.
It's the map. It's the map.
Oh no.
It's the map.
No.
Althea
No.
stares a bit wide
There's a
open,
moratorium on
squinting
Dory at the
angrily at
table.
everyone because this commotion is really upsetting her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to
Kinda
see
like-
this community service off.
You're like totally not about it. I love it.
You have no idea how much I miss.
It's dead, really broke.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Show her.
It's larger than...
Don't make this joke. I'm sorry. Cool.
-1 inspiration.
So here's our bow.
I just got that.
But I do want to give everybody inspiration for role-playing their characters, getting to know the characters, and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get 2 inspiration.
Oh, are you like
Excuse me, ma'am.
It's a 1.
Feel gypped.
Yeah. You can only ever have 1. And again, that'll give you advantage on any rolls.
Cool.
Around where was everybody standing?
Yeah, well, this has been like hours into it, so we've kind of like spread ourselves out, so you can kind of hang out wherever you like. Oh no,
Please don't.
yeah,
I
so
wasn't
that's
sure what
covered
was
for now.
happening.
That's okay. We'll get to
That's
that
later.
for sure.
Yeah.
There you go.
I apologize for you being so far away. I can't.
Is this like a mass?
Where on the boat would you like
So
to
that's like an inner place where he
Be-
goes. That's like the place where he cooks up food.
Where
and
on the
boat
would you like to
sleeps
be?
and all
Take
that.
it.
All right.
Or sorry,
Like-
cabin quarters
Yeah.
are like underneath this. So this
Alright.
is where like the crew.
Then I'm like right up against here, like just polishing my
Oh, there's my
rifle.
Okay, yeah, I love that. I love that polishing.
I'm a
that.
cat, and I'm not great with water,
Or you're
so I'm
sleeping.
vomiting off the side of the boat.
Got it.
I'm guarding this side of the boat.
I'm
Actively.
holding your hair.
Thank
Okay,
you.
okay.
I do have a mane. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I
Oh,
have like
what
a-
color? What color are you?
So you ever seen like a lynx and how they just have like spotty,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just cool fucking looking? I have that, but I also have like a mane that looks like kind of like my hair. Like it's just like curly and long
All right.
and matted and gross, and there's like braids and shit in it.
Okay.
Taking the tabaxi thing too seriously.
I'm sitting on a pile of rope with my arms crossed, watching everything.
Yes.
Myself.
All the way
And
from the
a
boat.
little backstory into this, kind of on the walk to the boat. The diplomacy corps spoke of the Vanitors, right? The Vanitors are like the hunting guild throughout Mortera, and they mentioned that a member like of the Vanitors would be joining, right? So, if you have questions about the Vanitors and their guild, right?
Please,
T
please don't ask me.
is a part of it. Team is.
Oh, are you saying this in character or out of character?
Yes,
Both.
yes to both. Yes.
Yes.
Cool. So you said you're like
Hawaiians are
actively looking out, right?
Staring at the water in case of
No, just for
things that might flop on board.
the two.
Need static.
I'm fully expecting like skeleton fish heads. Like it's like
The Castlevania.
yeah, no, it's just like you know how like people like skin the fish and then it's just the head and the tail.
Yeah.
But that's like
Oh
smooth.
yes.
So like Mario.
There's a rat in
Super Mario World.
Yeah.
May I ask, where are the facilities on this boat?
I'm just gonna put them here.
They're usually
They're in the middle there in that big box.
Oh. Can everyone look away?
There's a door, dude. Just go through
I
the
don't
door.
want to see that. Ugh.
Just go on the door and go take a shit. We don't care.
Oh no.
Please don't ship too close to
Are
me.
you in here using the facilities now?
I guess.
Please.
He's a little rough around the edges, but that's my boy.
Don't touch me.
I like Billy.
And
Are you
so
laying down on the job? Yeah.
we kind of we get hours past. You guys, have gotten to know each other a little bit. Will and Billy kind of like make their way into the captain's quarters, and they've like set course through midday. Everybody's kind of floating.
Next time on Mortera.
Zombie!
Oh, the zombies
Wow.
move forward.
Great cross. Attacks Max for a nat 20. Sorry, Max.
Yeah, it like slams right into your elbow and like almost shatters your elbow a bit, like bone on bone, like just really hurts.
I felt that.
Yeah, for
I
9
hear the
damage.
rustling and immediately I'm like, that's not any of our friends.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So you hear the familiar voice at this point of Althea casting a spell, and then everywhere, everything becomes super foggy. So you bring it down to 0, it falls to the ground,
He stands back up.
and it starts to stand up.